we need to take a breather and reassess what we truly want to accomplish in life. And when we do that, we can actually take a break from our current situation and we can think. We can think strategically, come up with a game plan. Where are we? Where have we been? Where do we want to go? Why are we going wherever it is we want to go? How will we get wherever we want to go? What will be the vehicle to take us to our desired destination? We all have value. We all have worth. We all have ideas. We all have strength, much more strength than we give ourselves credit for, because when we feel weak, when we feel tired, when we feel worn out, we feel like giving up and quitting. And sometimes the best thing we can do is to quit and give up. But it's not quitting on our dreams. It's not quitting or giving up on our desired destination of who we would like to become, where we would like to go, what we would like to learn. Sometimes we must give up on the bad habits we have formed, on the terrible thoughts we tell ourselves. We must give up the past weaknesses and frailties. We must give up and forsake anything that is foreign to our positive mental attitude. Welcome to Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast. I am your host, Jerald Simon. I am the founder of Music Motivation and the creator of the Cool Songs Club. Today's podcast is titled, If You Begin Something, Finish It. Now, it doesn't matter what you start. If you start something, you should begin with the end in mind, meaning you should focus on finishing what you begin. Some people, unfortunately, start new projects all the time. They start one after another, and they leave a trail of unfinished projects, unfinished accomplishments. They do not meet their goals. They do not see the small steps of success along the way because they have veered off from the path of success and have taken another route. Now, there is nothing wrong with stopping after you have started something. Oftentimes, when we begin anything, whether it is a new course, a new book, a new goal, a new objective, maybe a new relationship, maybe we start a new job, a new career. After we pursue whatever it is for whatever length of time, we often find out that we change. Our perspective shifts. Our ideas improve. Our level of understanding changes. So we should not worry or feel obligated to continue down a path if we no longer feel that path is the right path for us. That is when we discover a new path. We find a better book to read. We discover a greater opportunity available for us. We determine that we currently are not where we would like to be, and we push ourselves. We work harder. We set goals. We strive to accomplish more so we can become more successful if we choose to do so, but also so we can change and progress and improve. For the positive perceptions portion of this podcast, I would like to read Follow Through. This is found on page 33 from my book, Perceptions, Parables, and Pointers. This is what it says. Follow through. If you begin something, finish it. See it through. Don't start and then stop when the going gets tough. Toughen up and roll with the punches. You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. You need to dream it, breathe it, think it, and speak it. Don't just talk the talk, though. Learn how to walk the walk. Follow through. Finish what you start. We all, at times, can be guilty in our own lives of starting a new project and moving on before we actually finish the previous project. We often will start reading a new book or start writing a new book before we have even completed the one we are working on currently. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to turn around, go back, and start over if we are headed down a wrong road. It's good to assess where we are, where we have been, and where we would like to be. That is a good thing. But if we continually stop and don't progress, because we continue to give up, and see, failing is not a problem. Failing is wonderful. Failure is actually a blessing. Failure is one of the best steps towards success, because failure teaches us something much greater than whatever the perceived failure is. We learn about ourselves. We learn about our weaknesses, our strengths. We learn what works and what doesn't work. We learn what we know and what we don't know. We learn what our limits are and what they are not. And that pushes us and propels us forward, because by learning from failure, we advance more quickly towards success. Failure is a wonderful stepping stone toward success. For the Motivation in a Minute portion of this podcast, I would like to read Do Not Dwell in the Past. This is from my book Perceptions, Parables, and Pointers, and this is found on page 182. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Gautama Buddha. And it's interesting because what Buddha is teaching us there is that we have the past, we have the present, we have the future. What happens is, too many people have focused too long on the past because they have been there before. It's a comfortable abode. They have dwelt in the past, and so often they retreat to the past. The past becomes a friendly and familiar face to them because they have felt comfortable in the past, even if the past was uncomfortable, because they have lived through the past. So they cling to their past thoughts, their past feelings, their past ideas, their past behaviors, their past tendencies and habits. By holding on to those past characteristics that we have created for ourselves, we remain in a continual present past existence. Because what happens is, even though we are living in the present, we are continually retreating to the past. If you continue to do what you have always done, you will continue to receive the results you have always received in the past. If we want to change our present and future outcomes, then we need to learn from the past and change what we do in the present. This means changing our thoughts, our ideas, our ideals, our beliefs, our values, our virtues. If they do not align with what we would like to do or achieve or become, then we can and should change. And there's nothing wrong with changing. Sometimes we are afraid of change because of the challenges change can bring in our lives. But those challenges, they change us. And that change continually challenges us. So it's important to learn from the past, and that will help us improve our present situation. Likewise, we cannot focus too intently and intensely on the future, because you can think of it like a past present and a future present. If you are still in the present, but focusing on what happened in the past, you will not progress in the present. You will not change and improve. If you are focusing on the future present, meaning you are continually thinking about the future while in the present, you will forfeit whatever opportunities come your way because you will be daydreaming your day away. You need to be present in the present, focused on what you can do right now to change your outcome and your circumstances, which will eventually change your situation in life. For the Music Within portion of this podcast, I would like to have us listen to a piano solo hymn arrangement I did from a hymn album. It is from my album Hymns of the Heart, and this piano solo is titled, I Know That My Redeemer Lives. Listen to what happens with the piano melody, the counter melody. Listen as the right hand and the left hand intertwine and move up the piano and down the piano. And then the right hand creates some interesting broken arpeggios that are mixed in with the melody to create almost a secondary melody. Listen to the piano solo of I Know That My Redeemer Lives. For the Poetry That Motivates portion of this podcast, I would like to read Past the Point of Pain. This is on page 126 from my poetry book, The As If Principle, Motivational Poetry. Past the point of pain. When you've pushed yourself past the point of pain, when you've tried and tried and tried again, when the voices are shouting and saying you can't, you mustn't give in, look down, or give up. You cannot look back, slow down, or stop. Strength's not determined by what you've been given. Determination is strengthened by those who are driven. Pain is powerless and pathetically so. Fear seems quick, yet is terribly slow. It cannot keep up with our determination or will. Push past the pain, climb to the top of your hill. Now, Past the Point of Pain is a book about pushing ourselves beyond where we think we can actually go. Sometimes we think we have done enough, or we think we have done too much, and we cannot do any more. We think we cannot run any faster. We think we cannot become any stronger. We feel as if we cannot learn any new information. Sometimes I think we all have felt that we are that dog that you can't teach any new tricks to, because we have felt as if we can't learn, or we are afraid to learn. We feel overwhelmed. We feel as if there is so much happening around us, and we don't know where to go. And we feel as if we are torn, because there is so much pulling us in so many different directions, and it can be difficult. Sometimes we do need to stop and slow down and sit down, and we need to take a breather and reassess what we truly want to accomplish in life. And when we do that, we can actually take a break from our current situation, and we can think strategically, come up with a game plan. Where are we? Where have we been? Where do we want to go? Why are we going wherever it is we want to go? How will we get wherever we want to go? What will be the vehicle to take us to our desired destination? We all have value. We all have worth. We all have ideas. We all have strength, much more strength than we give ourselves credit for, because when we feel weak, when we feel tired, when we feel worn out, we feel like giving up and quitting. And sometimes the best thing we can do is to quit and give up. But it's not quitting on our dreams. It's not quitting or giving up on our desired destination of who we would like to become, where we would like to go, what we would like to learn. Sometimes we must give up on the bad habits we have formed, on the terrible thoughts we tell ourselves. We must give up the past weaknesses and frailties. We must give up and forsake anything that is foreign to our positive mental attitude. And that can be a very difficult turning point for many. What we can do is wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and have a heartfelt conversation with ourselves. We can be honest with ourselves. We must tell ourselves the truth. And sometimes the truth is very difficult to hear, especially when there are changes that need to be made, when we have been going down the wrong road for far too long, when we determine that we have had enough of our current problems, our current lifestyle, maybe our bad relationships, our job that is not going anywhere. Maybe we feel as if we have lost our purpose, our sense of direction, or who we are, or who we would like to be. And we can stop doing anything and everything that does not make us a better person. We can stop telling ourselves lies. We can stop doing any undesirable deed we have done in the past, we can forsake the wrong. We can embrace the right. We can choose good over bad, day in and day out. And those choices, those small, daily, almost hourly and minute-by-minute choices define us. They prepare us. They refine us. They help us change our perspective, where we begin to see the world through new eyes. We begin to understand more perfectly how our weaknesses and our thoughts have limited us. They have held us back. We have been preventing ourselves from improving. It's not a wonderful, eye-opening experience to have when you realize that because of the choices you have made, you are the one guilty of impeding yourself from progressing. I have done that so many times where I've had these aha moments where I look at the mirror and I see my reflection and I have a heart-to-heart with myself and I tell myself I'm better than who I currently am. I can do more than I currently am doing. I can learn more than I currently am learning. I can share more of myself with others. I can serve others. I can teach others. I can help those around me. I can give of my time. I can share the resources I have to help make someone's life a little better. And I can look myself in the eye and acknowledge that I have made mistakes. I have failed at times. But each failure has turned into a success because those failures have helped me, forced me to change, to be better, to learn, to grow, to do everything I can to want to finish what I start, to become the person I want to become. And I believe we all have that opportunity, that we can tell ourselves we are worth it. We are intelligent. We are capable and very able of accomplishing any task that is presented to us. We are fighters. We don't need to give up or give in. At times we may move on, but we are warriors, and we will win the battles against ourselves, against our past thoughts, our past behavior, the battles that we are currently fighting to become better. That is my hope in all that we do, that we will do our best, that we will learn and grow and strive to become better. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Do your best and help those around you. All we can do is try. And as we try, we do. Because we learn. And as we learn, we know. And learning and knowing and doing strengthen us. They help us. They prepare us to be who we know we should be. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great time. See you guys. Bye. Subscribe to Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast with Jerald Simon, to receive updates about each new weekly podcast. Every Monday, a new podcast is released to help motivate and inspire individuals to learn, to grow, to do, to be, and become the very best they can become. These are all motivational messages that inspire men and women of all ages to do and be their best, to set goals, to work on improving who they are and who they would like to become. Thank you again for listening. Connect with us on social media to become part of the conversation as we all work together to motivate each other to do and be our best. Thanks for listening to Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast. I am your host, Jerald Simon, and I'm grateful to have you listen to this podcast. Every Monday we come out with a brand new podcast, and you can listen to it on any of the podcast streaming sites available. Just search for Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast with Jerald Simon. Any of the music that I've shared in these podcasts, you can listen to. All of my music is available on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Amazon, and any streaming site available. You can also check out my music books at musicmotivation.com, and you can find my poetry, self-help, and motivational books available from Amazon.com, from Barnes & Noble, and from all different online shops and stores. If you have any questions about the music that I create through my company Music Motivation, you can learn more at musicmotivation.com, and you can visit my website coolsongsclub.com to learn more about how I create fun, cool piano music that helps motivate piano students to want to play the piano the fun way, especially during their teenage years. I'd love to have you check that out. But thank you again for listening. Please feel free to connect with me on any of the social media sites out there. You can watch my YouTube videos on youtube.com/Jerald Simon. You can connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all social media sites at Jerald Simon. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, keep up the great work and have fun. See you guys. Bye.